Hi everyone, happy Sunday. I apologize I'm a little late, but I am having a good week. I'm excited to share this week's epiphany. I've had a couple, but there's one particular pattern I would like to cover, and that is connected to mindfulness. When it comes to mindfulness practices, there are a lot of different approaches, and a lot of them, I think, have to do with meditation, have to do with being in a mindful moment with your food, or being mindful and still doing a body scan, or things like this. And these are great practices, but one of the things I say all the time is meditation is not designed to bring us a moment of stillness in a life of chaos. It is designed to bring us a life of stillness that easily manages chaos. And so to do that, we need to find ways to bring that practice into our day-to-day lives. This is just vital to expanding from being a meditator to living a meditative life. Now, being a meditator does improve. You just need 20 minutes a day of a purely mindful state, and you are shrinking that amygdala. However, if you can find a way to transition into doing it throughout the day for as long as possible, that's going to yield greater results and also make it more feasible. So I had a couple of epiphanies where I caught myself not being 100% mindful. And so one of those was with my work. One of the discoveries I made recently is that this was part of last week's, but I want to combine this. It's because I went a different direction last week on the video. So I was working last week and I had this realization that I work to finish projects. I keep doing these air quotes, but I focus on finishing these projects. And so it's always like, oh, I need to get this done. I need to get this done. And oftentimes my brain is saying, I need to get this done so I can do this. And I have the work I do is very project task oriented. Every day I complete certain tasks. I go through my email. I work on the classes. I write the book. I do all of these practices that actually are not, what I'll say is they're not setting up the kind of mindfulness that I want. So I was doing them and I was in the process, but it was about finishing the process. And what I realized is that in doing that, I wasn't being fully mindful. And also I was putting pressure on myself, often feeling rushed, also not doing as good of a job because I was thinking about, I've got to do this to finish. And so I had a little shift where I said, okay, I'm going to do the task in front of me. You've probably heard that a lot. That's nothing new to mindfulness, right? Is just focus. It's like focusing on the food, but I'm going to focus on this task. But I thought there has to be a way that I let go of the next task or what else needs to be done in my life. So all of those other demands that are in my life, this opportunity to take advantage of the fact that when I'm mindful, I actually do things better, get more done, have to repeat less. And so even though I'm slowing down, it actually helps me get more done. So what I decided that I want to do, and I want to give you this challenge this week, is to make a mindful to-do list. And so it's going to have two parts to it. So the first part is making a list of things that you need to get done and prioritizing that list and deciding who you are to do that. Some people like me, I need about 30 minutes in the morning where I just feel kind of chill, have a cup of coffee or tea, and just kind of wake up. And then I'm super motivated until about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which works for me because of my work schedule. So what I've been doing is, so one of the things is I do a kind of a simple task in the morning. And one of the things I've done is discard this brought up that post I did about being stuck. Discard the things that aren't advancing me forward. So I would sit and do puzzles on my phone, which are good for my brain, but it's even better to work on my book for a minute. And working on a book, writing is easy for me. So I get up, do that for about 30 minutes in the morning, then dig into tasks, right? But You also want to prioritize your tasks. So you want to say which are the most important. So there's going to be, like I said, two parts. One, you're going to define tasks, decide what time during the day you're going to do them and which are most important to you. Part two is going to be time limits. So oftentimes we might rabbit hole into a task, and sometimes it's a right time to rabbit hole. So what you're going to have is one big task a day. If one of your little tasks kind of goes awry and rabbit holed you, you count it as your big task and you shift any other big task you have planned to the next day. Doing too many big tasks will, your brain will lose motivation because it wants times to rest, to push and then rest. It wants times to play, time to relax and eat, all these different things that we're doing. So the two parts you're going to do is you're going to make the list and decide the time of day for each one. The second part is you're going to put time limits on those where you say, even if this is a thing I really need to finish, I'm going to limit. I'm only going to do 2 hours of it today. And that's one big task a day. And decide when. If you're that person that needs to do that big task the second you wake up, do it then. If you're that person that's fired up at 8 o'clock at night and is ready to do something, do it then. Know who you are. And you can do that by paying attention to when you procrastinate. When you're not motivated to do that task, notice if there's a certain pattern to that. But here's the rule for this that makes it truly mindful is you have your list of tasks. You have if you have rest style tasks, small tasks in between, that's great. But what you really want to do is when you're doing your major tasks is to stop and say, this is all I'm doing. I'm not trying to finish it. I'm working on it till the timer goes off, period. It's not about, can I complete it? It's not about what am I going to do after it? It's all about, I'm going to work on this till the timer goes off. Now you've put the hands in the timer to think about when you're done. You've released that responsibility in your brain so you can fully focus. Literally, if you do a 2-hour practice a day of some big project you want to get done and you dig in, this is great. One of the things I'm doing as well, quickly before we end today, is instead of thinking breaks, I'm shifting gears. So I'm going to do this task. So I'm going to finish a chapter. I'm going to put down 1,600 words or whatever. I'm going to do this thing. And then to shift gears, I'm going to shift to a physical task. So I'm going to go from this mental strain to, okay, I'm going to go do something physical. But when I do that, I'm not going to say, oh, I need a break. What I'm going to say is, I need to shift again. I'm tired of doing this. I need to shift again. Okay, now I'm going to go work on some classes so that I'm constantly shifting gears. My goal in the end is to remove the word break from my vocabulary. At the end of the day, I go to bed and I rest because my brain needs that cycle, but I don't need breaks. However, I do need to shift gears. So hopefully this makes sense. I've been able to include everything in this 10 minutes. If not, post in comments, ask me questions. Also, share ideas. Put it out there for people watching this. Every time I watch a video I really like, I read all the comments, and sometimes I'm so inspired by the comments. They're where my big shift comes. So share those with everyone. I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for following and being a part of what I do. I am every day more and more inspired by what this project is and who is involved. So thank you for being a part of it. I hope everyone has a beautiful day, and I look forward to checking in again next week.